Thank you so much for being with us today, Jessica. I am not first on TikTok and literally make just genius content. So that's how I found you. And that's where I learned that you were born again from identifying, I think, as a lesbian to now identifying as a child of God, which is so amazing and honestly beyond my understanding. So, thank you for being here today. I'm so excited to talk to you. And I'd just like to talk a little bit about what led you there, how Jesus saved you, and what that walk looks like now. So, if you wouldn't mind just bringing us back to the beginning.
Thank you so much for having me on here too. It's such a pleasure. So I got saved back in 2016, and my testimony is just it's very unorthodox to even start out with. So back in 2016, I identified as gay, and it's funny because so before that, like I grew up Christian, or what I thought was, I thought I was a Christian. My mom's always been a Christian. I'm a pastor's kid, so I kind of grew up in church a little bit. But by the time I got into my teens, I didn't identify as Christian anymore. So, I really rebelled. I got into drugs, all of that. And so by the time that I was in my early 20s, which was back in 2016, I was just full blown like addicted. I identified as gay, the whole works. And I was working this one job, and I ended up starting to see a girl that was working with me, and she identified as Christian. And at this time, I identified as agnostic, like I had this mindset of, I don't care if he's real or not. Like, if he is, cool. If he's not, whatever. Like, I just don't even care. And well, she would always like make these little, like, she would always just say these little things. She would be like, Jesus is the way, and just like all these little things. And so she was planting seeds. And this is so crazy because we were seeing each other.
Yeah.
Like, we were both in sin. but she was still planting these seeds. And so around the end of 2015, in December, she actually like ended things with me. And it just devastated me. I was so heartbroken. I was just devastated. And right at the beginning of 2016, so in January, I was just in a really, really dark place. I was in a depression. I was in this place where I was like, I don't know who I am, what I want to do. I'm heartbroken. I don't know what to do now. Because I genuinely, or what I thought was love, I genuinely thought I loved this girl, and so there was a day where, actually, I think this was at the very end of December. So it was like right before January, but there was a day where I just remember I was sitting on my bed and I was just weeping. I was sobbing. And all of a sudden I heard what I now know as the Holy Spirit. And he was like, just let go. And I remember like just stopping, and I was like, what? Like, did I just hear that? Like, am I crazy? Like, but it was also like when I heard it, it's like a knowing, like you just know that it's God. Like, you just know. And so I knew that it was God.
Had you
And
been
he just,
reading any scriptures at that point?
no, I had never really gotten into, like, I knew some Bible stories and stuff, but before that I had never really read in the Bible, nothing. Um and it was so surreal that I fell to the ground and I just started weeping even harder. Like, I was like holding my chest. I remember the pain was so intense that it was in my chest, and I just kept hearing him say that. He was like, just let go and let God. And I was like, this is crazy. And so I stopped for a second, and I was like, okay, God, like, I said, Jesus, if you're real, then, the whole works. I was like, then come into my heart, come into my life. Then I need you. Like, I can't take this pain anymore. I can't take this. This is unbearable to me. And ooh, I feel the Holy Spirit right now. I felt this peace. I felt his peace just wash over me, literally from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. And I was just weeping and weeping. And I just remember I continued praying, and I don't remember everything I said in this prayer, but something changed. Something just like something broke, something changed,
Wow.
and I've never been the same. And what's funny that you mentioned about reading the Bible. So 2 weeks after that, um, I remember I came home from work one day. This was like 2 weeks after this happened. I came home from work and I heard the Holy Spirit again, and he was like, "I want you to read the Bible." And I was like, "What?" Like I've never read the Bible. This is crazy. And what I love to point out in this is that I didn't have anybody influencing me during
Mhm.
this time. It was literally the Holy Spirit himself. That's how I knew that it was Jesus. That's how I knew that it was Holy Spirit, because I wasn't going to church during this time. My mom's a Christian, but like she wasn't preaching to me. She wasn't teaching me anything. Um, and so everything that I learned and experienced during that time was just all Holy Spirit, just
That's
doing it
amazing.
all. Like it was awesome.